Hello, friends. Good to see you. For our morning song, we're going to sing a brand new solstice song, and it's entitled Turn Around. Turn Around, a solstice song. Would you bring the lyrics to the next one? There we go. And it comes in two parts. Turn around, we are at the center of the darkness and the light. And it's a pretty easy sing. I'm going to invite everyone to rise in body and or spirit. And we'll just learn part one first.
Turn around, we are at the center of the darkness and the light. Turn around, we are at the center of the darkness and the light. Turn around.
And then there's a part two that goes like this. Give it a try with me.
Let the darkness take us, like the earth we turn. Darkness will not break us, in our hearts we burn.
And then you know what happens. We sing them at the same time together. I know, and we're not going to be frightened about that. We'll have this side over here. We're going to sing part one, and you're going to sing that with the sopranos and the tenors. And once we get that cooking, then we'll have this side sing part two with the basses and the altos. And we'll just keep it going until you really are enjoying yourself. And you're turning around, huh? Here we go, right over here we start. Turn around, we are at the center of the darkness and the light.
Turn around,
keep it going.
Turn around, we are at the center of the darkness and the light. Turn around, turn around, darkness. We are at the center of the darkness and the earth we turn. Darkness will not break us. In our hearts we burn. Turn around, the darkness take us.
Good morning. Welcome to the Olympia Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Thank you for joining us here today. It's nice to see so many lovely faces out there. My name is Christine Park, and I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a member of the worship arts team. Leading worship with me today is Reverend Monica Jacobson Tennessen. She served OUUC as sabbatical minister in the summer and fall of 2024. Reverend Monica currently serves the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Salem, Oregon. She lives with her family in Vancouver, Washington, and she reports that she gets a great deal of reading done by audiobook while commuting. Reverend Monica has served congregations in Washington and Massachusetts, in addition to Oregon. Also leading worship today is Troy Fisher, our music director, and Reverend Sarah Lewis, the Director of Community and Faith Development. Today is a pulpit exchange, and our minister, Reverend Mary Geer, is leading worship in Salem. Our OUUC community envisions an interconnected world that is loving, just, and healthy. We commit to living out our mission to welcome and wonder, embrace and empower, bridge and become. Please know that you are welcome here just the way you are. Whatever beliefs sustain you, whomever you love, however you understand and express your identity, all the ways you are growing and becoming. Here are a few things to know about our service today so you can feel welcome. We are streaming live on Zoom and YouTube, and the service is being recorded. For those here in the sanctuary, you can see subtitles on the screen in front and online on Zoom. We are a multi-generational community, and we welcome people of all ages here in the sanctuary. We also have nursery care and a storytime program for children in the classroom wing down there. Over here are soft chairs and activities for your hands, and we want you to be wherever you are most comfortable. We are so grateful for all the people that helped make this worship service happen this morning. Some of them are visible, some not so visible. Thank you to everyone who contributes. After the service, everyone will have the chance to discuss reflection questions offered by the speaker. For those online, we invite you to go into a breakout room for a virtual coffee chat. And for those in person here, please feel free to stay for coffee and fellowship in the Commons. At 12:15 today, please join us here in the sanctuary or back in the main Zoom room for a forum on Microaggressions 101 with Reverend Sarah. We have a number of announcements today. We are still collecting new toys and books for the Joy and Justice Toy Drive. You can bring them to a collection box in the Commons anytime OUUC is open this week, and the last day is on the 19th. The OUUC Cookie Brigade is added again this year, creating beautiful boxes of 24 delicious homemade cookies. You can pre-order now or purchase them next Sunday, December 21st, in the Commons between services. Suggested donation is $25. And if you love to bake and want to join in this effort, contact Melanie Ransom. This Thursday, following our community dinner, we will have our annual Solstice Spiral Walk in the sanctuary at 6:30, and you are welcome to come anytime between 6:30 and 7:30. The OUUC Choir Holiday Concert will be next Saturday, December 20th at 2 p.m., and Sunday, December 21st at 7 p.m. The choir will sing Tu Vaihun, Beatitudes for a Wounded World. We've heard parts of this piece in our recent worship services, and you'll hear some more today, and it is an amazing choral piece. Come nourish your spirit with this music. This year, we are highlighting opportunities for engagement at OUUC. This week, we are featuring the Story Finders team. This is a new team that will find and share stories of who we are and what we do at OUUC. If you're interested, please talk with Reverend Sarah. And thank you to this team for collecting the stories of our community. Lots going on. Be sure to check the Tuesday electronic update or the website for the most up-to-date information. And as we enter this time of worship, we invite you to open your heart and your mind to the possibility of transformation within this community. It is good to be together. This morning, we join Unitarian Universalist congregations around the world in lighting a chalice, the symbol of our faith tradition, with these words of Pat Uribe Lichty. We light our chalice today knowing that our hope and our passion are needed to change the world. We bring different groups to the work, different gifts to the work, but we come together in one faith, that what we do makes a difference, both to our world and in ourselves.
Good morning. I'm the Reverend Monica Jacobson Tennessen. I use she, her pronouns. I am a short white woman in my early 40s, and I am delighted to be with you today. Today, we light the third Advent candle. The placing of candles upon a circle of evergreens is an age-old tradition. Lighting additional candles each day or each week as the light wanes has been part of human ritual for centuries upon centuries. We are warmed by the glow, and we are reminded that the wheel of the season will turn and brilliant lengthening days will return. For us, here in this time, the circle of evergreens reminds us that life and love will never end. We light new candles each week with anticipation, as we know a new season will soon be here, and we know the warmth of the candles will soon be replaced by the warmth of the sun. The third candle we light in this Advent season is for joy. Where do we find joy? Is it in the simple things like a warm and fragrant cup of tea, or in something monumental like the birth of a new family member? In this, the season of sharing, may we find joy in the mundane, the monumental, the familiar, and the strange. Joy can sometimes be elusive, so we light this candle to help guide our way. We have lit the candles of hope, peace, and joy. And our opening words this morning come from the Reverend Hannah Roberts Villeneuve. In this season of long, cold nights, hope isn't waiting for us to find it. Hope isn't sitting patiently on the sidelines. Hope seeks out the forgotten places, the longest night, the damaged temple, the overcrowded stable, and every corner where tomorrow seems impossible. Hope bursts in uninvited, without concern for our carefully crafted plans. Hope shows up as a lamp that keeps burning. Hope shows up as an improbable baby. Hope shows up as the sun, returning without ever having left. Hope shows up as tomorrow, and then tomorrow, and then tomorrow, until, against all odds, we see the future breaking on the horizon. When we are weary from battle, when empire seems inevitable, and darkness is growing around us, hope comes to claim us, and we have the chance to say yes. Come, let us worship together.
I invite you to rise in body and or spirit, and let's sing out of the great hymnal in number 225, O come, Emmanuel.
Rejoice, rejoice.
Good morning. Today is the first day of Hanukkah, and like many holidays and holy days, this is a day that commemorates an event that happened long, long ago that people want to remember. The events happened more than 2,000 years ago, in fact. In the land of Judea, a king came to power named King Antiochus. And King Antiochus was a follower of the Greek religion and wanted everyone else to believe and practice just as he did. And so he decreed that the Jewish people could not pray to their God, that they could not read their holy book, that they could not have their holidays, even the Sabbath, could not speak their language. And he took the temple of Jerusalem and rededicated it to his favorite god, Zeus. Now, all of this upset people, of course, you can imagine. But Antiochus's rule was pretty strict, so people would be killed or sent into slavery if they protested or resisted. So many gave up hope. But some went up into the hills to become fighters. They became known as the Maccabees. And there was a long and not nice fight, as you can imagine. The Maccabees were greatly outnumbered. But amazingly, they won. And when they returned to Jerusalem, they found the temple to be all wrecked. It was dirty, it hadn't been cared for, that this giant statue of Zeus was in it. And so the fighters had to become builders. They cleaned, they repaired, they remade their temple beautiful again. And when they went to dedicate it, here's where the miracle part of the story comes in. Because they went to light the flame in the menorah, the eternal flame that should burn day and night. And this light burned from a pure oil that was hard to find. And they found that they only had enough of this oil to last one day. So they sent people off to go find more and bring it back. But it was so important to rededicate the temple that they went ahead and lit the flame with the oil that they did have. And the legend is that that flame burned for 8 days and nights, what should have only been enough to burn for one. And this is why Hanukkah is remembered as the Festival of Lights and celebrated for 8 days. Now, more than 2,000 years later, people all around the world continue to remember this and to celebrate the story of a people who found hope again after the long fight. Thus ends our story for today.
Each Sunday, we engage in the spiritual practices of generosity and gratitude. We join together in service to our community and to something greater than ourselves. It's an opportunity to express our gratitude for the gifts that life has given us, for the matrix of relationships in which we live, and for this community. If you are new or visiting us for the first or second time, you are our guest, and we do not expect you to contribute. But if you are moved to be part of the offering, what you share is accepted with gratitude. The offering collected here does two things. Half helps support the ongoing work of this congregation, which is also supported by our regular pledges. The other half of our offering goes to charity, Most is shared with an organization that serves our community in harmony with our Unitarian Universalist values. A small portion goes to the OUUC Ministers Benevolence Fund to support the more urgent needs of our community. Each of us has the power to share, and when we combine our gifts, we are together able to do more than any of us can do alone. Our Share the Plate organization for November and December is called Rebuilding Together Thurston County, an all-volunteer organization that provides free home repairs. This is what they share about their work.
And our affiliate in Thurston County was founded in 2003 by concerned community members and the Olympia Master Builders Association.
There's a lot of folks that really, for whatever reason, can't do repairs on their house. So organizations like Rebuilding Together can come in and really help those folks stay in their houses, which is important.
Otherwise, I would be still leaking and the roof would be coming down.
What we didn't know until we got sent out on our first few jobs was the depths of poverty here are fairly deep. They're also fairly hidden. It's hard to see them.
We offer our thanks to all who give, including those who give to the offering electronically. And you can find out how to do that in the order of service or on the OUUC website. May the offering be generously given, and know that it is gratefully received.
Thank you, Troy. Thank you, choir. Thank you, Elliot and Noah. And thank you all for your generosity in all the ways that you share your gifts. This morning, we come to do what humans have done for all of our existence. We gather in times of worry and anxiety and in times of celebration and joy. We come into community bringing all that is on our minds and in our hearts. Let us open our hearts to the complexity of life as we place stones in the water of community. You will hear a drum beat. Allow its resonance into your body. It is the heartbeat of life, the heartbeat of community. Right now, I invite you to take a deep breath. Feel the air in your body. Feel the earth beneath us. Feel the warmth of connection around you. With our first stone this morning, we extend our care to our Jewish siblings who begin the celebration of Hanukkah at sundown this evening. And in this season of holy days, we place stones in the water this morning to acknowledge that our world is still not at peace. And we place stones to acknowledge all those who are working and seeking a more just and peaceful world. Let us open our circle wide. If you are joining us on Zoom, I invite you to share from your heart by entering into the chat. Those in the sanctuary can see your sharing on the screen, and it is shared with Reverend Mary and with the pastoral care team. For those gathered in person today, I invite you to come forward if there is something you would like to bring in to have held by this community. You may come and choose a stone to place in the water as you hold your sharing in your heart. Let us hear the heartbeat of our community. Let us reach out our hearts in love and care to all those who share. You are welcome. We place one more stone in the water for all that has been shared online, shared from the heart. And a stone in the water for all that we know is simply held within the hearts of those in this community. May we hold together all that has been shared. May you feel yourself witnessed. May you know yourself to be loved. You join with me now in a time of reflection as we share this poem by Jan Richardson, A Blessing for Traveling in the Dark. Go slow if you can, slower, more slowly still. Friendly, dark, or fearsome, this is no place to break your neck by rushing, by running, by crashing into what you cannot see. Then again, it is true, different darks have different tasks. And if you have arrived here unawares, if you have come in peril or in pain, this might be no place for you to dawdle. I do not know what these shadows ask of you, what they might hold that means you good or ill. It is not for me to reckon whether you should linger or should leave. But this is what I can ask for you, that in the darkness there be a blessing, that in the shadows there be a welcome, that in the night you be encompassed by the love that knows your name. Let us hold a moment of silence together.
Today's first reading is from A Beautiful Year by Diana Butler Bass. She writes, Advent begins a new Christian liturgical year. It also anticipates endings. Oppression and war will end. The angels sing of peace on earth. The long wait for Messiah is coming to an end. Mary is heavily pregnant with child. Joy to the world. The ancient promises of God are about to be fulfilled. The first of the year anticipates the ending of our waiting for God to show up. Despite the angels and birth and the baby, however, the world would go on as muddled and conflicted and violent as before. Why? Isn't Advent the end of this wretched beginning of human history? Advent raises questions. Jesus' first followers found this as confusing as we do today. As they ruminated on his life and death and the continued dreadful circumstances of the world, they wondered if sacred time was the same as human time. If perhaps God's commonwealth arrived not in a single act of history, but in some other more mysterious fashion, stretched out through time in ways hard to apprehend. There would be two Advents, the birth of Jesus that has happened and the fulfillment of the promise that is still to come. Advent is about both, waiting for a birth and more waiting for peace.
So this season of Advent in the Christian tradition often just gets summed up as a season of waiting, right? Counting down to Christmas. Maybe you open an Advent calendar, it has a little picture for each day, or a little chocolate, or in my house, a tiny jar of jam. Counting down, waiting. We often tell the story of Mary and Joseph waiting for their baby to be born. This very special baby, the baby that Mary agreed to carry when an angel told her that a mother was needed to bring a prophet into the world. And Advent is the season that recurs every December for Christians who follow the liturgical year. The cycle of seasons and practices which are intended to help people deepen in faith. And in the Jewish liturgical year, the celebration of Hanukkah, an observance also that occurs to remind people of a past story and invite them into deeper practice. As Diana Butler Bass also points out, Advent and all these liturgical year practices are an invitation into different understandings and questions about time. The ancient story of Advent takes place in a community where people are asking each other questions. How much longer must we endure life under this empire? When will this time of fear and oppression end? It is a community of people of faith, a community of Jews living under a governor who's been appointed by the Roman Empire. That governor, Herod, is somebody who has really only a tenuous claim to share faith with the people that he is ruling over. The Romans have identified him as the king of Judea. He is a tool of the wealthy and powerful who want him there to collect taxes and suppress dissent. He has secret police. He forbids protest gatherings. Herod gives extravagant presents to those he wants to impress, and he undertakes major building projects, including a lavish temple that he puts his name on, Herod's temple, and decorates with unnecessary gold. I am just telling you the history. But maybe this is a story we can find ourselves in. Because Advent invites us not only into the story, not only into practices of waiting, but also into an understanding of circular time. So welcome into the liturgical year, a practice where time comes around, where it spirals up and down, and we get to look at things that are happening again from new angles. Revisiting things from different angles is good for us as humans. It's often part of our growth as individuals and our growth as communities. This is how we go deeper and how we open to new understandings. While the past cannot change, the meaning we make from the past can. And the meaning that we make now in the present influences how the future will unfold. Now, please understand that circular time does not mean endlessly repeating things. This is not the movie Groundhog's Day. And if you don't know Groundhog's Day, you can look it up. But it's about a man who has to live one day of his life over and over again. Circular time, instead, is an ancient way of understanding time through the seasons and through the cycles of human generations. There are broad patterns that repeat. There are details that change. This past October, I got to go to Montgomery, Alabama as part of a transitional ministry training. And part of the time there was that I and about 20 other Unitarian Universalist ministers learned about the many, many layers of history that have occurred in Montgomery. The many, many generations of Black Americans who have worked for freedom and civil rights and justice. We noticed how the cycles repeat. We noticed that there is movement towards liberation and then backlash. There's a new approach, there's some progress, there's a regression. It's not very reassuring if you're looking at it through the lens of linear time. Why are we going forward and backward, forward and backward? Sometimes I read about current events and I think about history and I say to my spouse, oh, this thing that is happening is just like this other thing that happened. It's not new, it's repeating. And he says, is that supposed to be helpful? Because I find it discouraging. I say, well, I think from the perspective of linear time, it is discouraging. But when we think about these circles, these spirals, we can say to ourselves, oh, we're coming around this curve again. Are we looking at it from the same angle as before? Because if so, we can ask, what is there to learn now? What can be done differently this time? And what worked last time that we can draw on in our moment? From the perspective of this circular time, I know that change is possible, even as I also know that regression is possible. I know something about how change has happened in the past, and I know something about where it's gotten stuck. And I know others look at things this way too. The journalist and historian Rachel Maddow, for example, talks about the lack of creativity in oppressive systems, the way certain patterns repeat, why there's always a lot of unnecessary gold. And she talks about the ways in which the historical movements of liberation offer us inspiration and strategies. From the perspective of this spiral time, history is our teacher and our companion in the present. What we do now will then teach and accompany people in the future. We are invited to take our place in the great lineage of all those who have worked for change and liberation. About 10 years ago, I learned something I love about Eleanor Roosevelt, who, in addition to being a First Lady of the United States, was an incredible worker for human rights and a great stateswoman. She was an Episcopalian. She had a daily prayer practice that kept her grounded during her work. During World War II, she had prayers that reminded her daily that somewhere people were dying to resist fascism. And later in her life, according to her son, this was her evening prayer as she worked with the United Nations on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It's a variation on the Christian Our Father prayer that she would have learned as an Episcopalian, And I invite you to translate and to degender the language as you wish, as you listen. Our Father, who has set a restlessness in our hearts and made us all seekers after that which we can never fully find, forbid us to be satisfied with what we make of life. Draw us from base content and set our eyes on far-off goals. Keep us at tasks too hard for us, that we may be driven to thee for strength. Deliver us from fretfulness and self-pitying. Make us sure of the good we cannot see and of the hidden good in the world. Open our eyes to simple beauty all around us and our hearts to the loveliness men hide from us because we do not try to understand them. Save us from ourselves and show us a vision of the world made new. Now that feels like an Advent prayer to me.
Our second reading is Keep Awake by Steve Garnath Holmes, a Methodist minister and poet. He writes, "We are awake to the coming of Christ and the reign of God, which is not a private matter, but a transformation of society. We rouse ourselves from the sleep of apathy, from the mindless coma of denial. We waken. We are awake to the coming of justice and awake to the many forms of injustice Jesus comes to make right. We are awake to the suffering around us, aware of greed and racism and violence, how it works, where it moves, attentive to how it hurts and how it may be healed. We are awake to the ways justice breaks in among us, alert to ways Christ is born among us, ways God works grace in the midst of our evil. We are awake to hope and trusting in that hope. This is what Jesus means by keeping awake. This is what the Black community has meant by staying woke. They are the same. We do not let others take that from us. We don't give in just because they're terrified of the word. We stay with hope, stay with being aware. We stay woke.
In that poem, I hear the call, as we make the round of the spiral of time, to look for the patterns, to notice the wrongs and the hurts and also the movements of healing and justice. Not to close our eyes, not to distract ourselves with shopping or scrolling, at least not too much. Because each and every winter, in this season of anticipation and stories of miracles, we are invited to pay attention to the possibility of big changes which start small. Invited to be alert to the possibility that a better world is coming and to the hope and faith that are greater than any cynical analysis. This bend in the spiral is one more chance, the same as always and also new, to be transformed and to transform our ways of being. So what does that really look like practically? Well, aside from the variety of religious teachings and practices, here is one really nerdy way to imagine implementing this way of being in the world. Our Unitarian Universalist Association has a board elected from among UUs all over the United States who do the governance of our national denomination. They have a governance manual that tells them what to do and how to do it, and in the manual there is a section titled Sources of Authority and Accountability. In other words, who gives the board the power to do what they do, and who should they be checking in with to see if they're doing a good job? They have 5 sources. Some of them are pretty straightforward, and some of them are very Advent-y. You ready? Okay, source number 1, member congregations of the Unitarian Universalist Association. Pretty straightforward. Source number 2, current and future generations of Unitarian Universalists. At any given moment, current generations means 4 to 5 generations of people, from children to seniors, and future generations points the board to remember all those not yet born. Third, the heritage, traditions, and ideals of Unitarian Universalism, the past, who we have been, and what we inherit, as found in our histories, our hymnals, our publications and photos, and in the actions of all those who have tried to live up to our heritage, tradition, and ideals. Fourth, the vision of beloved community as understood in an aspirational vision of how we would like to be together. The voices of the vision of beloved community include justice seekers, justice makers, stories of oppression and of counter-oppression, and they are found in sacred texts and stories from all faith traditions, through the arts, including literature, poetry, theater, music, and stand-up comedy. They're found in cross-cultural engagement, and they're found in studies on relationships, conflict, and the work of models like Gandhi. And fifth, the fifth source of authority and accountability is the spirit of life, love, and the holy. They write, this is the most personal of the sources and also the most universal and accessible. It is the source that links the board to what gives life, to what is greater than us, to what is ultimate. This source speaks to us through direct experience, spiritual texts, teachings of world religions, science and reason, earth-centered traditions, the arts and literature, and in acts of reconciliation, wholeness, and love. We will link to this source both as individuals through applying our individual spiritual practice in contemplation of questions at hand, and collectively as a board in group meditative reflections, prayer, singing and music, storytelling, experiences of witness, worship, ritual, and through other means, remaining open to a variety of spiritual practices. I hear so much Advent in those sources. Looking forward and backward along the spiral path of time, gazing up, looking down, bringing our past and our heritage along as companions while moving toward what is becoming in these times. Now, in some communities, there are more than 4 Advent candles which are arranged in a spiral. In some communities, Advent spirals are created, or solstice spirals, like the one that will be here on Thursday evening. The practice of traveling a spiral is even simpler than a labyrinth, but it shares much. You can even make one yourself if you have a clear patch of flattish ground and enough old wet leaves to kind of lay out a path. You can make one on a piece of paper with a marker. You can simply show up here on Thursday. You travel an Advent or a solstice spiral to take you inward, and then to find your inner light. Perhaps you pause on the journey and consider something from a different angle. Perhaps you are invited to carry the light with you outward. Because it is true in this world that humans are gonna human. It is true that living in this world is going to include times of oppression, exploitation, and the rich and powerful ornamenting stuff with unnecessary gold while other people go hungry. It's going to include times when the movement toward a more just world, a beloved community, seems to not just slow down, but to stop and even go backward. In terms of linear time, where one thing follows another in endless progression, this is incredibly discouraging. And so, what you can do is to find that circular and spiral time. Situate yourself in the generations of people keeping hope alive, whether or not it makes any linear sense. Stay awake to the possibilities that are expressed in the new lives of babies and children. For as Buckminster Fuller said, they are your elders in universe time. And let us round the curves of the spiral once more, choosing hope. Let us take a moment for silent reflection.
I invite you to rise in body or in spirit, and let's sing together out of the gray hymnal, hymn number 226, People Look East. We extinguish our chalice this morning with the words of Tom Shade. My friends, there is a power at work in the universe. It works through human hands, but it was not made
by human hands. It is a creative, sustaining, and transforming power, and we can trust that power with our lives. It will sustain us whenever we take a stand on the side of love, whenever we take a stand for peace and justice, whenever we take a risk. Trust in that power. We are together held by that power. May you go with joy, go with commitment, go with love.